And today I'm going to discuss perennial intros. Um, Perennial intros, as discussed in previous teaching, is the idea that companies stay in a status of being introduced on a regular basis. It is akin to the high school teacher saying, "My students stay the same age every year. They never get older. However, I am the only one who ages." So too do the perennial intros stay in a status of being introduced. The companies are constantly being introduced, and once the company is introduced, in other words, leaves its status of introduced. I'm sorry, not introduced. It's always being introduced. Once the proper party is reached, then it moves out of the status of perennial intros. It's like it graduates. It's like that kid who goes through his Algebra 1 in ninth grade, and he's done, if he passes it, of course. And he moves on to 10th grade. So if the buyer gets on the phone and he is talked to, or she is talked to, and whatever next step happens, well, they leave this field. The field of perennial intros is complete. So you're looking at a bunch of companies that basically are receiving messages on a voicemail machine, or through a receptionist, or what have you. But in any case, these perennial intros are formatted in a specific way. A, which corresponds to 1, and B2, and so forth. In other words, A, C, E, and so forth are all the same, and B, D, F, and so forth are the same in their formats. And the format is this. There are 4 major panels, or columns, I guess. The whole thing is called a panel, but they can be seen as smaller panels within a panel. There are 4 panels within, let's just say, perennial intros A. The first panel is called the no-name perennial intro. This is a company that the buyer name is not available. There's no name, either first name or last name. There's no name. That is the first, of course, going from left to right. Okay, the first panel, we'll just call it for now. The first panel is a no-name. It's a no-name perennial intro panel, and this is an A. Okay, the next panel is a 2-name perennial intro panel, from 1 to 15, and the next panel over is a 1-name perennial intro. I'll give you an example. I know I'm going back and forth here, so let's just say the second panel, the name would be of A. The second panel would say Flint Williams, the buyer. Okay, Flint Williams. And then you have the next column over. It would just say Ryan, if the person's name was Ryan. But it couldn't say Ryan O'Malley, because it's not his place. This place is the 2 names, is the 1 name, and again, the last panel is the no names. So 1 and 4 match, 2 and 3 are opposites, and then the sub 2 and 3, meaning we hit 15, 16 through 30, is going to be 1 name over here and 2 names over here. So Flint Williams, Ryan, okay, Flint, and then Ryan O'Malley over here. So that's how it's situated. 1 through 15, 16 through 30, 1 through 15, 16 through 30, and these are all 1 through 30. 30, 4 rows, 4 panels of 30, so it can hold a maximum capacity of 120 names, but thus far it hasn't got to full capacity.